All right, in this question we are going to evaluate some domain values, but the important thing is we have to keep the context in mind, okay? So let's read that context and circle some of the important parts here. Abayomi built the following linear graph to model a store's inventory of a new smartphone on the day of its release. The store started the day with 500 phones and sold them at a constant pace. The x-axis represents the hours since opening. Okay, so x is hours. Let's write that down. And the y-axis represents the inventory of new phones. Okay, so y is phones. Okay. Which of the following numbers would be appropriate domain values given the context? All right, so basically you can see the graph. You can see they started with a whole bunch of phones. It looks like 500. During the day, they sold it, right? They sold that phone throughout the day based on the number of hours, and then after about 10 hours, they ran out. So we want to know, based on this graph, which of the following are appropriate domain values. When you see the word domain, just think input. Okay, which of the following are valid input options for x? Well, let's go through. -1. Do we have any value? Can we read the graph when x equals -1? Is it possible to have -1 hours? Doesn't really make sense. I'm going to cross that out. 0. Could we find the number of phones available at 0 hours? Well, yeah. 0 exists on the graph, and there is a point at 0 right there. So I'm going to circle 0 as a correct answer. 1. Yeah, 1 does exist as well. It's right here, and there is a point where 1 hour, they have some number of phones. How about 5? Let's check 5. 5 is right here, and it looks like, yeah, they have 250 phones at that point, 5 hours in. So 5 is correct as well. Last one, 15. Okay, let's check 15. So for 15, that would be way out here. Can I find the number of phones available at 15? Well, you might say, well, the graph looks like it keeps going, so there'd be some negative number. Does it make sense to have negative phones? Not really. So I'm going to cross that out. My three answers would be 0, 1, and 5.